Today we're going to talk about two of the most crazy, easy skills that we learn in the entirety of fifth grade, and it's how to multiply with fractions. So the first thing I'm going to teach you how to do is multiply a fraction times another fraction. And then we're going to talk about multiplying a fraction times a whole number. And to multiply fractions, first thing I'm going to show you is algorithm. We'll talk a little bit in class about how you can diagram multiplication of fractions, but it's very difficult and time consuming. So as far as actually doing the multiplication, we're going to first just talk algorithm. Then we're going to talk about the diagramming in class. So let's try 1/2 times 2/3. Super easy. So if we're going to multiply these fractions, in order to find a common denominator, not necessarily the lowest common denominator, but a common denominator, we can just multiply straight across. Right? That works. Nothing wrong with it. Well, since it's multiplication and we're taking groups times groups or fractions times fractions, to find the answer as a numerator, you multiply straight across. Multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then reduce. Because if we didn't find the lowest common denominator, we're probably going to have to reduce. But in this case, we did find the lowest common denominator, we still have to reduce. Always reduce if we can. Divide this by 2, divide this by 2, and we end up with 1/3. That's it. That's multiplying fractions. Beginning to end, that's as hard as it ever gets. Today's work is us multiplying whole numbers times fractions. Well, here's the trick. How do we put a whole number as a fraction? Watch me drop an eraser while I'm recording it for YouTube. Put it over 1. That's 3 groups of 1. 3 groups of 1. What's 3 groups of 1? 3. Now we multiply again, straight across the bottom. Straight across the top. Then we simplify. How many groups of 4 can we take out of 9? 2. With 1 left over. That's it. An easier way to think about it even, keep your denominator, take your whole number times your numerator. Then simplify. That's the easiest way to think about this. So let me do a little diagramming. I need 3 groups of 3/4. 1 group of 4. 2 groups of 4. 3 groups of 4. 3/4. 3/4. 3/4. My common denominator is going to be 4, so I got fourths, fourths, and fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fourths. And if I simplify that again, I still get 1 or 2 and 1/4. We've done a lot of hard stuff in 5th grade. This is not one of the harder things. Always remember, though, when we get an ending number, we always have to reduce or simplify as far as we can so that we're working with the easiest possible number, because over here, we're taking shortcuts. We're just multiplying straight across. We're finding a common denominator, not necessarily the lowest common denominator. So what we end up with is going to be a little bit bigger.